G'day, friends and fans. Welcome to Tabletop News. I'm your host, the author David Applegate, author of the books The Boyhood Arcade, Power Games, and Into the Elves Mound. Before I begin, I'd like to remind you that I'm sponsored by you, the viewing audience. So please, support the channel, even if it's just a like, share, and of course, I hope that you will subscribe. All the links are going to be in the description below, except on X. I apologize. I can't put all the links in the description, but because there is none. But I will post, and I'll put the links in that post right now, because X doesn't let you post until after you go live. I know I probably say this over and over again, but excuse me a moment while I post on X. Join me live. Post. View post. And where's all my links? So just all fits in. Oh, wonderful. Right. Okay. Started 2 minutes ago. Blah, blah, blah. Chat. Right. What have we got? I got tagged, so I'm here. Yes, Critical Myths, I did tag you. Thank you for joining us. I'll get it. First, before I get to you, I'll get to I start with the bundle of holding, and then after that, I will do independent artists such as yourself. Thank you for coming. Let's see. Yes, chat. Hold on a moment. Just chatting or just of holding. As we have new viewers, I cover tabletop news, mostly bundle of holding, of course. That's my favorite. Get you, so I think bundles, great way to buy products, and independent artists, because like me, people overlook the little guy. I'm sorry. I'm sure some of you are doing much better than I, but let's get the message out. A lot of you, I'm not going to say names, but a lot of you probably feel like myself that posting on X is an uphill battle to get attention, and I just like to, share the love. I love tabletop playing, role playing. It's what actually got me into writing. So, without further ado, let's move to the news. Okay. First, we have, of course, the bundle of holding, Esper Genesis, science fiction role-playing game using 5th edition rules, code rulebook, and many adventures from Alligator. alley. First, we have the Starter Collection and the Adventure Collection. Everything you need for science fiction adventuring in the world of Silray Arc or anywhere else in the universe for an unbeatable price of $14.95. Get the 5 titles in the Starter Collection worth $68, all DRM free, including the core manual and updated supplements. Now, speaking of supplements, for the threshold price of $25.80 and above, you level up and get the entire Adventure Collection, supporting RPG designers, also supports charity. Now, the minimum gets you the core manual. The core manual has all you need for high adventures in hyperspace with planets of war, high-tech gadgets, robots, aliens, starfighters, ancient machines, and more. This is the core of Espergenesis, taking the role of galactic hero, forge your destiny in the universe of advanced technologies and hidden mysteries. Core manual presents you with everything you need for character creation, aliens, character classes, background skills, etc. All easily integrated into D&D 5th edition, but it is a standalone product. You don't need any rule books other than the ones included in this set. That's, I think, important, that most games are standalone. That when you create a standalone universe, it's a standalone game. When you create an add-on, well, that's what I do. I try to make it standalone, like it is contained, but there are limitations. But you know, it's like anything really. You fill in. You're there as the game master to fill in the blanks. You are the world. You are the god. But supplements come to the rescue, and you have the Master Technician's Guide, main rule book for game mechanics, gear, stars, ships, tools, locations, and encounters. And to get you started, initiation adventures. You have 2 here. The Matoki engine, caught up in a strange anomaly. The team drifts through the expanse with little fuel and critical systems failing. The only space station within range looks in worse shape. Can they fix it before trouble finds them? Now, Star Chaser. Journey home's cut short when attacked and left stranded on an asteroid. The only way off the rock is by helping an expeditionary team investigate and recover a strange energy source. Colony of deadly synthetics within a layer have some disagreements with that. And this is actually a sequel to the introductory adventure. Now, level up, and you get the threats database. Monsters and villains, more than 60 creatures, antagonists, and hazards. Shadow of the Zesper, 10 adventures. You have a salvage expedition called Basilisk Rendezvous, and it's about a abandoned cargo ship that looks like it's been rotting away for years. Luckily, you have the coordinates, and all you have to do is make a flight worthy to take it back home. All you have to do, right? Wait. So yeah, for the struggle sometimes, but keep going. Yes, that's exactly right. It is a struggle, but we all keep going, don't we? Or well, we all try to keep going. That's the point. Now, Second, we have Crisis at Peltavar. A simple delivery job goes wrong at Pelvar Space Station. I think I pronounced that right. Taravid. Well, disreputable club owner. Is there any other kind? And Escape Alive. Is there any other type of adventure? Voices Beyond the Void. A navigational error on an experimental cruiser leaves the team adrift in the rift. Path home? Yeah. Of course, there is. Transdimensional threats. Secrets in the Silver. You play bodyguard to a famous pop icon, and the mission turns into a lot more than you bargained for. Don't anybody start singing that horrible Whitney Houston song, please. Okay. Viral fallout. A deadly nanovirus has brought the teams to the sublevels of New York City, where they must infiltrate the DMZ of the city's dreaded Sector 77. Sensation is a bliss. Following a lead, the team tracks down a missing media icon, and there's a sinister force that threatens the lives of all residents in the Bastion. Authority Media presents, and on the run, more danger than ever, a team has one chance to clear their names and rescue the Bastion from devastation. Stormfall. Answering a distress call from an old acquaintance, the team infiltrates the base, and there's a final showdown with a faction of techno zealots and their deranged ringleader. What? A cult has a deranged ringleader? No, never. Never, I tell you. Aftermath. After dealing with the technocracy, you have to deal now with their hidden stronghold and an imagined legendary item of power on a planet ravaged by war. Can the heroes secure the device? Now that's $143 of space opera for low bargain price, $25.95. As you can see, people have leveled up, purchased the item around Metamorphosis Alpha, another science fiction game. This one's a standalone. Again, complete campaign, a Lost Generation starship, starter pack $9.95, and a bonus pack. For $9.95, you get the 7 titles in this revised offer, the starter edition, DRM3 books, including the 2016 reproduction of the original 1976 role-playing game, first printed edition. Now, if you pay the threshold price, $25.89, and you level up and get the entire bonus collection with 6 more titles worth $70, all digital rights management free. Starters edition gets you the first edition rulebook from the deluxe, the collector's edition, which includes the Game Master screen, 37 pages, bargain, introduction to scientific RPGs before there was pretty much anything. I mean, D&D was 79, I think, and they didn't have sci-fi until 80s, 90s, 80s, mid-80s. But that was short-lived. The original sci-fi was short-lived. I forget its name. It used to have its box set. Now, 300 years ago, the colonization starship Warden has been moving through space and was irradiated. Now, it's plot to Red Dwarf, folks. I know. So now you're one of the few survivors as the ship drifts in darkness. There are true humans, mutants, and robots are on board. You fight to survive, unaware that your radiated world was once humans' greatest achievement. But can you get it back on course? This is the original. There's no optical character recognition applied. It's all clear and crisp text, including the erratas as marginal notes. Now you have 3 source books, which adds creatures and gadgets, 12 new creatures, dozens of new gadgets. Then the mutation manual, 200 new mutations, hours of fun. And the armory, what's adventure without what's colonization without war? Unknown to colonists, there's a case of powerful military weapons. 150 pieces of weapons, armor, shields, bots, droids, drones, and other miscellaneous items. The Death Ziggurat and other adventures. The Death Ziggurat in 0G is an endless sandstorm and freezing temperatures where a small tribe clings to life in the concrete ruins. It's subsisting on the trickle of edible goo spewing from the broken replicator. Hunters vie against mutant tribes and hungry scorpions. Scorpions. This is an introductory sandbox describing your starting town, the warring factions, the wasteland, a deadly location to launch you into adventure. And then you got 8 2-page mini-page inventions known as the Warden Adventures that provide material for hours of adventuring. Level up and you get Metamorphosis Alpha, Doom on the Warden. Now this was released 45 years after the original. Doom on the Warden completes the story. Part Hex Call, part Deadly Delve. This 51-page adventure sends you to the mysterious Level 0, the military command dome. Here, if you survive, you uncover the deeper secrets of the Warden, repair the ship, and get it back on course. You can see, originally this was a never-ending adventure, but January 2020, they decided to basically answer all the nagging questions over the years, the fate of the Warden. There's quite a fan base out there, apparently. I haven't engaged in them for quite some time. I got this pack years ago. This is a revived pack, so take me down to Epsilon City, where the robots rule. Was it? Sorry, where the robots. Oh, so where the robots are strong and the Wolffold's pretty. Yeah, the Wolffold. Yeah, packs of mutants. Now, Epsilon City is a mix of ancient Greece, Rome, Vikings, Aztecs, and other eras. And you have a 274-page campaign presenting cyborg characters, new equipment, other mutations, key locations, random encounters, and 3 complete adventures, all rolled into one. This is the setting within a setting. This is a city on the starship. And Metamorphosis Alpha, 4 more adventures where you have android underlords, the captain's table, find out about one of the original captains. It's left behind a hollow egg. A Magtag assemblage of humans and mutants go on a holy quest to discover ancient technologies in a massive killing field. What can go wrong? Well, find out and level up and see, shall we? Level of the Lost and other adventures on the command ring, formerly sealed sections where you find a wildlife preserve for mutated dinosaurs. And the book of handouts, as it says, illustrations, and it's up to the game master to decide what they mean. lots of fun there. I tell you, lots of fun. And one of the more successful cyberpunk style games out there is Shadowrun. It is still somewhat in the shadow of cyberpunk, who was until recently a somewhat obscure game until the CD Software, controversial game, Cyberpunk brought Night City to life. But Shadowrun, there's a few games out there, including, going back to the Sega Genesis. It's quite a lot of Shadowrun games out there. Shadowrun, however, has, for over the years, changed hands. And the 5th edition is coming to conclusion with, I think, what they call season. There's seasons in the campaigns. Official campaigns. And these are the source books, digital source books, and scenarios for the missions. Not this pack does not have the rule books. The rule books are in Shadowrun 5 Essentials. Now, this is the second of 2 offers, right? So, and this is from Catalyst, who the current owners of the Shadowrun property. Magic meets cyberpunk in Seattle. And this is the 5th edition of the 6th world. An introduction to with toxics, dragons, and the splintered state, the fractured state of North America. Now, pay the threshold price of $19.95. Get the basic set with all the locations in Seattle and the introductory adventures. Level up, threshold price of $32, and get the bonus collection of more source books and scenarios valued at $159. Now, the starters pack gets you the Seattle Sprawl digital box set. This gives you all the information on Seattle, the corporations, the politics, the criminal powers, where gangs, corporations, and other invested parties, including runners, all basically fight, cooperate, compete for control of Seattle. And you get a very deep dive into the history of Seattle after the great virus that wiped out a lot of humanity, but then humanity sort of like to all the big cities as most of the world become dangerous. Now, you get 3 standalone scenarios with this pack. Splintered State gives you a federal agent in distress. He's hiding from people who want to learn what he knows, but he's not in his right mind. And Shadowrunners come. That's where the Shadowrunners come to play. Shadowrunners being the primary heroic / criminal element that do all the jobs that corporations, politicians, dragons, free spirits, and various other entities use as pawns in their power games. But Shadowrunners come to learn valuable information that the powers in Seattle want, and Fractured State is an introduction to Seattle, introducing the new rules and dangers in Seattle, including setting the stage for cognitive fragmentation disorder, a meta-plot storyline, one of a couple. Although the Dungles and storyline was a fizzle, I know, but CFD is much better plotted out than because a lot of people didn't get the idea behind Dungelson and the AI that you had to fill in the gaps as the game master. A lot of people were hoping for more material than that with the AI. I forgot about the AI. There's like more than one, but you have the Renaku ecology, which was the end of 4th edition. The Renaku AI is also a player in Seattle's politics. Cognitive fragmentation disorder is one of the Shadowrun games out there, and it's also a supplement in sorts. It's fragmented throughout Shadowrun. Now, Lethal Forces, you have Mr. Johnson spinning a tale about secret research, and of course, being Mr. Johnson, he ain't going to tell you the truth, like probably not even who he really worked for. But there's a challenge for even experienced runners in this adventure. So we have toxic alleyways, which runners come intertwined with the powerful and secretive law firm of Stark, Tierson, and Vandermeer. Now, there might be the only force to consult the firm's plot to plunge Seattle in disaster. Toxic Alleyways is a standalone adventure that borrows elements from the Dark Terrors campaign, which you'll find in the bonus collection. Now, there's 4 various other scenarios. Boundless Mercenary. Elizabeth Nunn is a delightful woman. She hangs out in hospitals and abandoned churches. She's angry, looking for Shadowrunners, and when you find out how angry she is and how far she's willing to go for revenge, that's where the Shadowrunners come in, if they survive to the end. Now, the point of Shadowrun is, like a lot of cyberpunk games, is that anybody can die. Now, Shadowrunning takes place in an assortment of places with an assortment of guns pointed at you. Firing line brings you into the mysterious islands off the coast of Seattle. And if you survive the chaos, well, good for you, because there's also Manhattan and Bogota, because you're paid to be there. London Falling. Well, as it says, London's fallen. It holds a secret, a dark secret, and many dark secrets. In fact, you come across one from a minor noble who's not been seen in Parliament for months, and, well, you go to work finding out what happened in the West End Underplex. Explore wilds. Seattle has dark corners, forgotten places. It's wild as the rainforest. Fortresses like the Barrens, recovering from the mysterious attack in the Dark Clinic. That in itself is one of the many secrets of Seattle. There's actually, I think that's 3rd edition, the Barrens. Might be 2nd. But there's a chance to see other sites and other encounters and dark secret smugglers who were once police officers who, well, there's not much police force in Seattle, but those who are still police officers often shoot first and never ask questions, just deliver you to the morgue. And passionate activists, often worse than the Shadowrunners, of course. Hardened criminals, Shadowrunners. Wounded warriors, Shadowrunners. And the deranged killer, Shadowrunners. Level up, and you get the entire collection. And, of course, this includes the 5 campaign source books to the CFD campaign. Now, this is the first meta plot for 5th edition, not a meta plot for all of Shadowrun. Shadowrun, you have the dragons, you have the mysterious AI, you have the bug spirits, you have as technology, and the mysterious elves, who we don't who's never been truly developed. Again, sorry to Shadowrun fans, but come on, be serious. The links between the ancients, the elves of Washington State and other areas. I mean, I get the point that a lot of it is there for the game master to develop their own campaigns around these various tribal areas. But now and again, little fragments appear, and if you're making stuff up on the fly, when a fragment does appear, it's sort of, how do you incorporate a fragment when you didn't know this was coming, you know? Now, the first storyline is Stolen Souls, and it's a big one. So you delve into the world of chaos of the mind. People are experiencing a schism where new personalities emerge and battle the old. And it starts as a shooter extraction. You have to get infected people out of the sensitive positions and find out what's gone wrong. And this is the Deep Shadows. This is the underbelly of Shadowrun, where there are various plots, but it also contains rules on running extraction games. And of course, it introduces the location of Manhattan, where a lot of key extractions are taking place. But you also have the Boston-based corporation, Neonet. And you meet them in lockdown, where panic is spreading through the Northern Sprawl. And Neonet is at the center. Lockdown is the plot source book, giving you introduction to Boston and other characters and other revelations. Dark Terrors. This is basically detailing the horrors lurking in the Sixth World. This is basically bringing back bug spirits, dead bodies, and other hidden corners of the metaplanes, as well as information that was contained previously in February 2019's Run and Guns. Now, Bloody Business. This is another stage in the ongoing meta narrative, where corps are now dealing with multiple attacks from multiple fronts. Neonet and Evo are dealing with the fallout from the cognitive fragmentation disorder. And Ares has powerful forces eating it from the inside, as well as Horizon had backed the losing side in the Atlan's Amazonia War. And of course, the Japanese corps are back to take on the world and each other. Because again, if you just jump straight in, there is actually catch up in the beginning of the 5th edition campaign book. You don't have to buy 4th edition to actually get the history, which is good. Now, market panic. The Big 10 are reeling with scandals, disasters, crippling attacks from all sides, as well as their own schemes, internal turmoil, upheavals, and chaos. But that's how they operate. And this gives you an insight, and as well as what happened from the fallout of the CFD. So, and then you've got Denver. Now, Denver was, I think, introduced way back as an original box set. It was part of the history and where a lot of things began. Although some say the dragons first appeared in Japan, but they actually first appeared to the Native Americans in Denver. and they unleashed these spirits upon the world, which wreaked havoc, brought back magic, killed billions of people, and basically, I think that was 2054, and that's where the original Shadowrun kicked off, and then you had various corporations and corp wars and stuff from second and third, and by fourth edition it was pretty much established with Shadowrunners being the go-between agents of various corporations. And the current setting is 2074 with Stormfront, where Denver is yet again in civil war. The Ghostwalkers, the dragon has fought with Harlequin, now 2078. Denver's at war with reality. People are disappearing, creatures materializing out of nowhere, sometimes entire landscapes appear. Something's gone wrong, and you have to find out. And the first part is Segregated Edge. This is the Warrens of Denver and a group known as the Sons of Saren have hired you to steal medical records. Upon their exposure, it sets off more trouble. False plague, an unknown party has run a false flag event, and that sparks even more trouble, and discovery of the culprit might restart the war. I mean, it is a war, but there are factions. I'll just bring more outside factions in, and of course, ripping reality. This is the core fallout from everything, and you've got to bring it all home. Now, $261, all DRM free. Now, the Essentials Pack. Right. The Essentials Pack. 2019, first of two Shadowrun offers. This is the core rulebook for 5th edition, 1995, and the bonus collection gives you Run and Gun and Street Grimoire and the core supplements for Shadowrun. These are the essential books for Shadowrun. Again, 1995 gets you the free titles in the core collection. Retail value is $70. Level up for $31.08 and get the entire pack. Core collection, 5th edition rulebook. You don't need the 20th edition hand book. It's got all the history updates. But if you want a deep dive into the history and lore of Shadowrun, they are selling the 4th edition 20th anniversary is the best. It's a little bit more, but it's got all the basically beginning to end story that all you need to know about the 6th world. Now, this is big. The Catalyst Games are selling 4th edition handbook. I don't know if they got the 3rd reprint, but I don't think you really need it. I think 4th edition covers all the lore if you want a deep dive. But there is a catch-up in the opening of Shadowrun 5th edition. Now, there are cracks in the world, shadows, where you live. You live between the margins, doing the jobs that nobody else will do, and you can survive, even flourish, if you do what it takes. Sacrifice your soul for bleeding edge gear. Basically, while your brain into the matrix, what does it cost? Everything has a cost. But sometimes it's actually worth the price. Are you out to seek justice? Sow seeds of chaos, sell yourself to the highest bidder. It's up to you, but the streets will eat you alive if you do nothing. Now, this is the latest, and it is one of the most popular, and it is one of the most successful role-playing worlds. Fusion of man-machine in the dystopian future. Hacking, rigging, and cybernetics. All you need to know, quick start rules, quick conversion guides, and there's, pardon me. Now, Run Faster is an indispensable player guide. It actually introduces new rules, new races, and, of course, everything you need to get the most out of 5th edition. Chrome Flesh. Well, one of the most defining features of any cyberpunk universe is what they call Chrome. That is cybernetics, but Shadowrun goes beyond the machine to gene technology and other ways to augment the human body, including drugs that give you an edge. Chrome Freshers dozens of new ways to make you better, stronger, faster, and more lethal. Now, the bonus collection, Run and Gun. Now, this is one of the most popular of all the Shadowrun supplements, not just because it introduces new weapons and gear, but it brings a whole bunch of new tactics and raises the level of the game with specialized techniques. Now, the Street Grimoire, basically, you pay with your soul. This is the book of magic for Shadowrun. Well, you get the basics in the core book, but the Street Grimoire takes you into new options, new rules, deadlier threats, and dozens of ways to use magic and magical societies, and how to survive as a spellcaster, where basically the first rule of combat is kill the spellcaster. What a shock, right? Data trails. Now, one of the other core features of Cyberpunk is the Matrix, where this is where the movie The Matrix got a lot of its ideas from. Programs, gear, and more about a virtual world. The Matrix is a virtual world, and it's basically the hub of hacker culture, built for hackers, most likely by hackers, as explained all the way back to the original beginning when the internet was taken down by a huge virus, and that virus became the Matrix. It is the virus. It is AI. It is everything. And in this wild virtual world, there are literally self-aware programs. Now, Rigor is another part of Shadowrun where men are wired to their machines, spin your wheels and drag through the Seattle Sprawl, negotiate missiles and insect size. Yeah, to get where even outsiders aren't meant to be. There's just way riggers can go. Because what's the rigger do? Well, anything from hot rods, jet planes, speedboats, every kind of vehicle, including drones. And that's where the shrinking part comes in, the use of micro drones. Right, coming up is Operation Unfathomable. Now, this is an old school tabletop RPG. For those who don't know, there was once a game known as Dungeons and Dragons, and it was a very simple box set, and it became known as the basic box set. So there's two. There's the red one and the blue one. Then there was the Master Edition, and then the Expert Edition. Then came Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and that was really when it took off. But there were a lot of people who just played the original, and they became known as old school tabletop dungeoneers. And you can get the old school rules here in a store, Old School Essentials, for $29.95. basically, and then Dungeon Crawl Classics. It's basically the early role-playing, all reborn. Now, Operation Unfathomable, and in case anybody asks, I actually don't know what the relationship with Gygax is and the Gygax, what Gygax is currently up to, although he says he's producing a new product. He's moving on from the old to new. So I don't know what his connection is, but Old School is operated by Jason Choices. Yeah, it's a retro clone. So they call it a retro clone. This is a complete pack, $14.95, gets you the core rulebook, the setting, and other material. Let's dive into it. Now, the core book includes the player guide, everything you need from first level characters onward to begin and explore the mythical underworld. Beyond, now, of course, under most second senses, first levels would not survive the first level. However, creatures, deities, and other things occupy these spaces, and you can provide all that the characters need to survive beyond the initial hook. Just by entering the underworld, the player may run afoul of various factions, but establish alliances and gain an edge that enable you to survive where most players would not. However, just because you have treasures are up for grab, and very powerful magic in the hands of first level characters would normally be inappropriate, but in the underworld, it's called Tuesday. Odious Uplands. Well, up is up, and you find yourself for new provinces and new adventures and new places to adventures, new wild realms, relics, and a region for adventures of every stripe. Completely unfathomable is a whole bunch of new dungeon crawls to expand, adapt, reorganize the classic into 5 new adventures, including a Citizen Lich, Underworld Ranger, Neanderthals, and an Underworld Honor. Well, this is a complete consolidation of the first volume of Swords and Wizardry from the Old School role-playing game, fantasy role-playing game, from which Operational Unfathomable originally came from. Now, the Dungeon Dozen, 200 tables of, this is an amazing set. This is like tables galore, everything that you need to fuel the game. For apocalyptic visions, indestructible villains, how to kill them, what's at the bottom of the pit, typical items found in the desk, weird dragons, you name it. But you know what? If you haven't figured out, Dungeons Volume 2 is more. Now, this is not a moldy optical character scan. These are wildly imaginative tables that have been re-edited and represented for your role-playing delight. Also removed from Remove Curse. Damn good reasons to descend into the underworld. Drunk jerks with swords. Successful checks for a non-existent secret door. Meet the Unfathomable. $14.95. Now, as I explained, and for new viewers, I bring to life, to attention, the small independent artist, starting with the Quill of Damocles Mapmaker. Commissions are open, folks. Battle maps, dungeons galore. Here's a Patreon and a Roll20 Marketplace, all live. Link tree in the description below. Just give you a prime example of Quill's work. See, 20 by 20 map with project file, medium, and a large map. As you can see, small, medium, large, all fitting in. And you can go extra large to your Battle Royale island for you who want to turn your D&D campaign into Fortnite, which is not beyond the realm of possibility, of course. Now, from deserted GM Kris, we have a goth in the desert, a long-time Middle-earther, eternal game master and writer of tabletop materials. Now, as a fellow Middle-earther, I grew up on Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Yes, I know they're the other way around. But tabletop, yes, and I am a tabletop designer myself, and I know the struggles. But here we have where's that? Where's it? Sorry. In Linktree, everything you need to know. Get involved today. Now, upcoming game stream events. Actual play. Just one little thing. Where's the subscribe button? If you, here we go. You can share, but I thought Linktree gave people the ability to subscribe and follow you. May not be. I got a Linktree. It labels. Yeah, it's one thing you want. Now, critical mitts. Here we have critical mitts. Learn to be a better dungeon master. Tips for making you better. Supplements for more epic adventures. And memes to remind you it's just a game. I didn't kill you. The dice killed you. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Crit has a YouTube, a guild, a Patreon, and more. Find out more on his Linktree. Check him out today. Support. Whoops. And of course, last but not least, myself. I am creating a homebrew science fantasy setting T6 for D6 just for $1. You get early access to material, level up, and you'll get bonus rewards. But right now, it's just artwork. But I am working on additional rewards for I have upcoming blah 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 blah. Here we go. Dimensional gates upcoming. Going to start introducing dimensional gates and other materials. So thank you all. Thank you for coming. Appreciate each and every one of you. And if you could please take a moment to like, share, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. You can go the extra mile and support the channel. Here's my Ko-Fi link. I also have 2 patrons. As I said, I have an RPG patron, but I also have a writing patron. And I have a merch store. Links are in my link tree. Please and thank you. I'll see you all in the next video.